Hello, how y'all doing? My name is DeAndre Lee, and today my debate speech is on the legalization of marijuana. My first point is for medicinal reasons. Of course, there was a study conducted by the Michigan Marijuana Association that shows that marijuana aids in not only treating and giving aid in certain cases, but curing cases of asthma, tumors, cancer, multiple sclerosis, insomnia, and then things of lesser health importance like depression, stress, anxiety, and things of that nature. So there are some health benefits of legalizing marijuana, but also we have to keep in mind that the pharmaceutical companies don't profit off of cures. They profit off of treatments and feeling better for a moment. So that's one thing to bear in mind why marijuana is still illegal. Um, my second point is that a lot of people would have the argument of, oh man, you can't like in my case I would say no one can overdose on weed, but however I looked that up and that's not true. There are cases where people have overdosed on marijuana, but I also feel like with the access to prescription drugs and the fact that they are very legal, and in some cases you can get them over the counter or you can just go to the doctor and get a prescription. These drugs come in abundance in bottles and you can easily go back and get your prescription refilled. So there's a risk factor in both, and most people would make the argument that there's a greater risk with marijuana when obviously that's not the case when you have prescription drugs and pills at your disposal. Another thing, marijuana is not linked to high crime. Think about in the prohibition days when alcohol was outlawed, it caused a lot of uproar and people were real upset about it. But the reason why alcohol is legal and marijuana is not is because everyone does not know how to brew alcohol. There's a process with it. There's a certain technique that you have to get down. So for the most part, alcohol can be monopolized to businesses that know what they're doing. However, the government and big business cannot control marijuana because they're just seeds that you can plant, and anyone can plant and have their own marijuana garden. So that's another reason why marijuana isn't legal. Moving on to my second point, marijuana has some good environmental aspects to it. The Tree Hugger Conservation Group did a study on marijuana, and the hemp seeds in marijuana are very good for the environment. And what I mean by that is, the hemp seeds in marijuana can be used for chemical cleanup. If you think of things like the BP spill and all the oil spills that are going on, we waste millions of dollars in cleanup and manpower when we can like slice the budget in half almost to just use hemp seeds. Hemp seeds could also be used for fuel, so we won't have to waste money drilling oil and put people in danger. We don't have to go to other countries and potentially fight wars over oil. Hemp seeds can be used for paper, clothing, food, beverages. So you have multiple advantages of using hemp seeds. Also, you can use it for building and supplies. Now the thing about hemp seeds, and this is a strong point of why I feel like marijuana again is illegal, because when you can, in other countries they use hemp for building structures and even houses. Now, when they build these houses and use hemp, there's no reason for them to use air conditioners or heaters because the hemp is self-sustaining, meaning in the winter it's cooling, and in the summer, wait, I said that backwards, I'm sorry. In the winter it heats up, and in the summer it cools. So it's a self-sustaining system, and you'll have no need to buy air conditioning and heaters and things of that nature. So once again, that cuts out a whole other market, when you get into that market of air conditioning and heating and things like that. And my last point for the legalization of marijuana would be cultural. In the South, where the justice system is more harsh, of course, there are bigger penalties dished out for crimes, and especially in particular if you get in low income areas. There was an article by the New York Times that showed that if you are African American or of color, you are 8.3 times more likely to get a 20-year sentence or more for a marijuana crime. Um, and the crazy part about these sentences when it comes to marijuana is these guys will get, or ladies in some cases, they will get sentenced for maybe in a span of 2 years to life in prison. And most people, are serving 10 years or 20 years plus years for marijuana. And the marijuana is not a violent crime where someone's life is threatened or where someone is killed. So these people with non-violent offenses are housed in some of the most hardcore prisons like Angola, or like prisons that are like very hardcore with rapists, murderers, child molesters, and people who are very violent offenders. So the justice system also is unfair in the way that it prosecutes for marijuana. So in 2011